For other players, from goalkeepers to defenders, midfielders, wide men and strikers, this tournament has produced some real standout performers. Of course, it's difficult to look past the teams who reached the final, but between Ruben and James, they've come up with that fearsome 11 who they believe is the team of the tournament. Ruben, what can you tell us? Who do you believe deserves to earn their spot?
Well, I think there were some discussions, but there's also some players that really stood out for a long time, and also some surprising names. Saliou Ciss, for example, for Senegal, is not the player we were expecting to be one of those star players. So yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, Vincent Aboubakar as top scorer is a logical choice. Mane and Salah, you can't miss them out, and of course Gabalski as the goalkeeper of Egypt after tonight, but also of all the heroics he has done in all those penalty shootouts. Yeah, that's a logical choice as well. Yeah, maybe the surprising names would be probably Franck Kessié from the Ivory Coast, because he played only 3 matches. Well, a little bit more than 3, but he got out against he got out injured against Egypt, but he was probably the most impressive player in the whole group stage. So. And Blati Touré for Burkina Faso and Tapsoba for Burkina Faso as well were 2 of those players who really showed us that incredible team spirit the Stallions has shown us. So, yeah, you can discuss, of course, always about all those players, and that's also what makes football a lot of fun. But, well, we were quite agreeing about it.
Yeah, then, James, you see those 3 star men at the top. I mean, they've really carried their nations, in effect. You've got Mo Salah and Sadio Mane in the final. Vincent Aboubakar just missing out. Is there anyone that you see that we've discussed who you would have put in possibly, and who maybe would have pushed for that spot?
Well, I think when you look at, especially after tonight's performances, how high do you put Salah up there today? I mean, of course, we know how much he carries Egypt. How much did he actually produce for the team? It's not down to him, of course. He's there to receive balls, but when they don't come, well, he's limited in what he can actually do. We know how much of a brilliant player he is and how much he wanted this tonight. But I mean, we can't ignore the caliber from his side. And again, we were looking at it, and I think, you know, we've got Moussa Barrow in there, and I think this tournament has definitely been a lot about some of the surprises that we've seen. Before tonight, we were wondering whether or not to put Boubacar Gueye, the Gambia's goalkeeper, in there as well. And that would have been a fair choice, because I think this was about discovering some of these smaller teams who'd never made it so far, and who put on some really brilliant performances. But all round, I think we've got quite an eclectic team up there, which really does sum up a lot from this competition.
And Ruben, we were speaking earlier then about also Gabadinho possibly in for Barrow. He performed very well for Malawi. You just wanted to put in a special mention there.
Yeah, well, I mean, those are the kind of players why you were watching a football match for. And he was their star player before the tournament. And if, like Barrow, they show up like they did, I think that's so impressive. With all the pressure on those players, we were talking about Mane scoring the winning penalty. That's incredible if you can keep your nerves, especially when you miss a penalty during the match. But what Mango did during those games, it was just such a pleasure to watch. And teams like Malawi and Gambia, they surprised us. So that's also the charm of this tournament. And he is, yeah, those players are really the symbol also of those underdogs, giving us a real a treat by watching those games. So that's would love to add him, but yeah, there are only 11 spots in the team.
And a treat with a lot of goals too. Simon, I just want to talk to you quickly about Vincent Aboubakar. He scored 8 goals across the tournament. A phenomenal achievement, puts him up with the ranks of Samuel Eto'o. Just tell us how big of an achievement that is to carry your team like that.
Well, the biggest achievement is that Vincent Aboubakar and Carl Toko Ekambi really scored the most goals for their team. I think they were the only goal scorers, in fact, almost until the 3rd place playoff where Stefan Boakeng also got one. But Vincent Aboubakar exemplified what it is to be a captain. He scored the penalties against Burkina Faso. He scored a goal against Cape Verde. He scored headers, left foot, right foot. So he really played as the complete striker, and I think his comments after the semi-final loss against Egypt, where his team didn't play as a team, well, were very brave. They embodied what a good captain should do, and I think Ruben will disagree with me. I think that's what he said in the show the other night. But from my point of view, it's certainly, you have to have players with character. It seems that nowadays you don't have players who are capable of saying hard truths and receiving hard truths. And you saw exactly what happened when he came on against Burkina Faso in the third-place playoff. The game changed immediately. He was on cue to score the goals. Okay, the big defensive mistakes on both the headed goal for the second and the third against Burkina Faso, but no player even came close to his tally of 8 goals in this competition. And considering that Cameroon possibly didn't have the best team behind Aboubakar, it goes to show even more how important he was, because when he did have the chance, he had to put it away. And there are very few shots on target that Aboubakar actually took that finished in the bottom of the net.
A brilliant tournament from him and Ekambi, as you mentioned. Well, we